Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here. It's Saturday, October the 21st, Our Lady's Saturday, so it's a good day to cultivate and practice your devotions to the Blessed Mother, praying the Rosary, Marian devotions, the Angelus, the Memorare, Sub Tuum prayer, we fly to thy patronage. All of these three Hail Marys before you go to bed, praying for holy purity. Even just looking at a picture of our Blessed Mother, singing the Hail Holy Queen perhaps. These are Marian devotions that you can cultivate on Saturdays. First reading, continue with the Epistle to the Romans. The promise that he would inherit the world did not come to Abraham or to his descendants through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. Because remember, Abraham believed, and it was considered to him as righteousness. So he believed God. And that's what St. Paul will go back to, that faith precedes the law given. Yes, Abraham was called to circumcise himself and his descendants, but it was preceded by faith, right? This will be a main theme of his writings. For this reason, it depends on faith, you see, in order that the promise may rest on grace and be guaranteed to all his descendants, not only to the adherents of the law, but also to those who share the faith of Abraham. So does this in any way diminish the significance of the law for so many generations? No. But what it does is establishes the fact that faith precedes the law. Therefore, God wanted the Gentiles and the Jews and the Gentiles. He wanted all of his children back in one family. That's really the point here that Paul will unpack in many of his writings, is that faith indicates that everyone can be considered righteous in the eyes of God by faith. You don't have to perform works of the law, so circumcision is no longer necessary as a sign of the covenant, nor is the dietary and liturgical precepts necessary as a sign of the covenant. The only thing that's necessary is to keep the commandments, because the commandments are the eternal law of God. So they will never change, from worshiping the one true God right through to not coveting your neighbor's wife and goods and so on. So this is always important for us to remember. You may think it's sort of abstract and it's out there, but no, it really comes back to, for Catholics, it's, do I have faith that's active in love? Or do I reduce my faith as a Catholic to lighting candles, saying the rosary, all these external actions, looking like I'm doing good, when inside I'm full of corruption and filled with dead men's bones, as Jesus would say. I'm mean to my spouse, I'm lazy, I don't even try to overcome my bad habits. I'm looking at pornography and all this kind of stuff, and yet I look good on the surface. No, we have to be, we're considered righteous by making an act of faith, which is not just I believe, but it's actually living out the content of faith. It's in a relationship with Jesus Christ. So it is relevant. It is, contemporary. It's practical in our day-to-day life. That's what's important for you and me to remember. Okay, over to the Gospel, Luke 12. Jesus said to his disciples, I tell you, everyone who acknowledges me before others, the Son of Man will also acknowledge before the angels of God. But whoever denies me before others will be denied before the angels of God. And then whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. So Jesus is very clear. You have to you have to be willing to die for me, because I'm going to die for you. So, and he won't brook any, we won't stand up for him. He's not going to stand up for us. He's gonna suffer and die for you and for me. And he's going to forgive anything that we're repentant of. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. You can't get a better deal. So we have to be willing. And if you're weak, like we all are, then we have to be willing to pray for the grace to actually be faithful to him, to stand up for him, to die for him on a daily basis, but even if necessary, to go to the wall for him, for Jesus. We have to be willing to do that, and for the most part, it's going to mean we suffer a little bit by dying to ourselves, or even by defending Jesus and the church, in the company of other people, when they may ridicule Christ, God, or the church. And at least we can say to people, Don't speak about what you may not be aware of, or don't believe everything you read in the press. Give me a break, because they lie all the time. They lie all the time. They don't present the full story. And it's not every person in the media, but a vast majority, the headlines are very clear. I could, if I needed to, state specific headlines, but they, incomplete stories or stories that are not thoroughly researched, they put them on the front page anyways in order to get, it's all clickbait and so on. So at least we can stand up that way if we don't have the facts, to counter people's statements. So stand up for Jesus, because he's willing to stand up for you. God bless you.